The society we live in is advanced, plush, and filled with convenience. As of writing this, there are 32,660 Starbucks locations, 35% of which are drive-thru. Your neighborhood grocery store carries over 40,000 items from all over the world. We are surrounded by screens and have unlimited stimulation at our fingertips, and Amazon ships an average of 1.6 million packages a day.
That's right, if you live in the United States, you can get anything from dog socks to dill pickle lip balm in 2 days or less, without even leaving your house. Why would I ever need to go anywhere? This level of convenience is unprecedented. If you took somebody from a few centuries ago and time traveled them to the here and now, they would probably think, wait a minute, you guys pee in perfectly clean water. Okay, no, I'm kidding. Well, kinda. I mean, they probably would think that, but the point I was getting at is they would probably think that we have everything that we could ever want. And if that's the case, how come so many of us are miserably in debt, or both?
Our highly advanced technological societies are efficient at innovating, entertaining, and manufacturing, but most of all, selling us things. And over time, we've become so accustomed to this lifestyle of convenience, excess, and shiny new things we can't afford that we've failed to notice we've been shackled to a lifestyle that someone sold us. Up until 12,000 years ago, humanity was entirely a species of hunter-gatherers. We sowed no seeds, reaped no crops, and had no long-term settlements. Instead, we roamed regions, hundreds of miles of earth to find the food we needed.
You gonna go get it?
Done. That's enough for today. Come on.
12,000 years may seem like a long time ago, and it is. But relative to the dawn of man some 2 million ago, it's merely a blink in which the advent of knowledge and technology have isolated us from our natural state, a state where our survival was dependent on our mobility. Now, mobility has been minimized, retermed as travel, and it is the exception, not the norm. Instead of soaring over the earth with the birds, we've become like the house spider, resigned to our barren little corner of the world in a painted room that resembles nothing of our natural habitat, where we spend our days at the center of our web of complexity. But we are not spiders. Spiders are true to their nature, and attuned to the vibrations of their webs. We are neither, and when all the little fingers of the modern world begin tugging on our lives, we stay in our webs, blindly unaware of these fingers as they tirelessly fight to become our puppeteers.
Now look, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm Morpheus and I have the red pill and I somehow have all the answers, because I'm in the Matrix just as much as anybody else. I'm not criticizing our modern society because I think that I'm morally superior to it or something, but because it scares me. And I know that we're not evolved to deal with the blisteringly fast evolution of technology, nor the fact that many people are using it to try and control your behavior, whether that be to purchase a product, vote a certain way, or remain too distracted to focus on the real issues we face. And when you consider the magnitude to which technology and convenience now rule our lives, it's hard not to argue that this is a total departure from our natural state.
I noticed that when I cut some of the convenience out of my life and moved from my web into a little box on wheels without an address that things got a little bit more difficult. But difficult was kind of nice. I felt free again, and it felt like people were not trying to make my decisions for me anymore. I didn't have service half the time, so I was disconnected from all the things that were normally just like background noise in my life. And I hadn't realized how quiet it was when you actually tuned out all of those little noises. It's like, when the power goes out and you realize that, oh, it's actually a lot quieter in here when there isn't that constant humming and constant noise. It felt good to be able to tune out and become quiet enough to kind of tune into the whispers of the world. And I realized that wide-eyed bewilderment isn't something that you just experience on vacation, but that it can be a lifestyle. And it actually feels far more natural and normal than whatever the hell we are normally doing. And by gaining some distance on the complexities of my ordinary life, I realized just how connected to them I really was.
So all of this might make it seem like I'm anti-internet or anti-technology or something like that, and I can assure you that's definitely not the case. Without those two things, I wouldn't be able to make this and share it with you, which is what I love to do. But my point is that if we're gonna live in this crazy world that we do, we can do it in a way that's a little bit more true to our nature. And that is a statement that can be construed in many different ways. But that being said, I don't think you need to do something as radical as move into a van to address the tethers attached to your existence. I do think, however, that it requires gaining some distance. And by doing so and tugging on those shackles, so to speak, we realize where they are, and more importantly, that we have the keys to many of them. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, Cody, this is all very silly. I'm not affected by any of this. I can pick up and travel and do whatever I want. I'm free as a bird. To that I say, well then do it. A bird constrained by a string is no more free than one by a chain. Now I suppose there are millions of voices out there all telling you what to do. Do this and it's the fastest way to find success, or do this and you'll get chiseled, rock hard abs. And I suppose that I'm just one of those millions of voices, but if you care for my 2 cents, go far away from that sea of voices, far away from your web of complexity, and carve a little piece of life out for you to adventure, experience things, and find stillness. And to do that as often and regularly as you can, and to soak it all in while you're out there and save a little bit of it with you when you come back into the madness. Because only from the outside can we really see the whole picture, and because our equilibrium is really only achieved through experiences and adventures like these, and they have been denied to so many of us. But if you're planning on waiting passively at the center of that spider's web for the right moment, I promise you it will never come. Remind yourself that if it is to be, it's up to me. Travel is medicine, nature is nourishment, and stillness is the answer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.